Today, I'm going to show you how professionals actually find their own clients without expensive pay-to-play sites and without begging for work. You know, one of the biggest misconceptions in voiceover is that most jobs live on casting sites. They don't. Casting sites are just the public-facing tip of the voiceover iceberg. When you rely only on casting sites, basically what you're doing is you're always renting your access to find paying work. The minute you stop paying to belong to those casting sites, those auditions disappear. The majority of voiceover work happens quietly, directly between businesses and talent without ever being posted publicly. This is especially true in things like corporate narration, e-learning, internal training videos, explainer videos, and local and regional advertising. These kinds of clients don't always want 500 auditions to sift through. They want one reliable voice that they can come back to again and again and again. And that is the market we're targeting. To reach that market, you have to ask yourself, who really hires me? And this is where a lot of beginners get stuck. They think, well, Netflix hires voice actors, Pixar hires voice actors, big brands like Coca-Cola or Walmart hire voice actors. And technically, yes, but not directly. The people who actually hire you are the middle layer. These are your real targets: video production companies, local and regional advertising agencies, e-learning developers, corporate media departments. Those are the people who are choosing and casting voices, managing projects, and needing fast turnaround while constantly sourcing talent. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember that list of people. So now let's talk about how to actually find these people for free. Here is one of the simplest methods I still use: the Google Maps method. Open Google and search video production company and list your city, or advertising agencies, your city, corporate video services, and your city. And it's gonna spit out some listings. If you're in a more urban area, some of them might be 5 minutes away from you. If you're out in the suburbs or more in a rural area, they might be 30 to 60 minutes away, maybe even more, depending on where you live. But you're going to get a bunch of listings in that narrow focus. Click on them. Open their websites. Look to see what kind of work they do. What kind of services do they offer to clients? You know, let's take a video production company. What kinds of businesses are they trying to attract to produce videos for? Just learn a little bit about the company, and then I want you to look for one thing on that website: the contact page. Because you're not looking to, answer a casting call. You're not looking for a place where they're advertising for voiceover talent. You are looking for an email address, a contact form, or a general inquiry inbox. Local companies are really powerful here because they love to have go-to talent nearby, even if that talent ends up working remotely. This is something that I used even early in my career. And, we think about now with technology, voiceover really is a global career. You can have voiceover clients on the other side of the earth, and that's great. But there are potential voiceover clients even in your own backyard, and that's a great place to start. Early on in my career, I partnered with a couple of local recording studios who would book local clients to produce, business clients to produce radio commercials. Well, those individual businesses didn't book me to do the voice for their radio commercials. It was the studio who then had a casting list of a talent bank, basically. And once I was on their list, anytime they would book a recording session for a client that they thought my voice would be a good fit for, they'd call me up and ask me to physically come to the studio, and I'd cut the radio commercial. There are also local businesses. I have one client who is actually a global corporation, very big name, and just about everybody would recognize it. But they happen to have one of their big corporate headquarters is located just about 20 minutes from where I used to live, but was able to relate for them, hey, I'm actually local. I'm 20 minutes away. We got to chatting about some of the local businesses I'd worked for and so on and so forth. And that relatability made it so that I never drove the 20 minutes to go to their corporate campus to do the work, but they hired me remotely, more so because I was a local talent. So this is why it's a great place to start. Start near you. Once you've pinpointed that, now you've got to craft the perfect outreach email. And this is where a lot of people tend to overthink things. Your initial outreach email doesn't have to be clever or really long or even salesy at all. In fact, simpler is better here. Simple wins. The rules here, keep it short. You're not going to attach any MP3s. You're going to provide a link to your demo, whether it's your demo page on voices.com or Voice123, a Fiverr listing that you have, or Upwork. Maybe you have your own website with your demos on it. Maybe you're at that stage. It could even be something as you've got your demos with your MP3s saved in Google Drive, and you just provide a link to the Google Drive for them to listen to it. So keep it short. Don't attach any MP3s. Provide links instead, and just make the message about them, not about you and your voice. Here's a quick example. I'll give it to you. You say hello and you address them by their first name. This is important. If you're going to be on their website checking out what it is that they do, why you think you would be a good fit, those types of things, make sure you identify the person that likely is the one who would be involved in hiring you and address them by their first name. And so you say hi to them and you say, I came across your work and wanted to introduce myself. I am a voice actor specializing in insert whatever your specialty is here that would directly relate to the types of services that they offer, meaning they need a voice for this type of thing and you would be the answer, you'd be the solution for them. Corporate narration, e-learning, explainer videos, or maybe even a certain industry. And you wrap it up by saying, if you ever need a reliable voice for upcoming projects, I'd love to be a resource. You can hear a few of my audio samples here and just put in the link to your demo. You say, thanks for your time and your name, and that's it. No begging, no pitching yourself as a passionate storyteller, no life story about your background. You are simply planting a seed. And I should say, just a quick note before we move on, if this is the kind of thing where, like this, you don't want to have to reinvent what you say in an email to a client every single time you write one, I do have a voice actor's marketing toolkit with 10 cut and paste email templates for really common voiceover client scenarios like cold outreach, follow-ups, conversations about your rates, booking confirmations, you name it. You still personalize them, but the templates give you a starting point to save you some time and energy. And if that's something that interests you, I'll link that down below. So now that you've got that perfect outreach email, you've identified a handful of local places that you can look for, and you've sent those emails off, let's set some expectations. Realistically, you might send 10 emails and not hear a single thing back. You might send 20 emails and only get one reply. And that reply might be, thanks so much, we'll keep you in mind. You could send 50 emails and land only one single long-term client. Not only is that normal, that's a huge win. That's the point of direct marketing. It is the long game. It is not about instant gratification with direct marketing. It's about building career infrastructure. By doing direct marketing, that builds client relationships. You are in control of how often you can discover new potential clients. So you find one video production company that likes working with you, you don't have to re-audition every single time. Instead, they'll start emailing you. They start coming back to you, and they start referring you to their colleagues. And suddenly your income isn't tied to how fast you can refresh a casting dashboard. This is how pros build stability. Despite the fact that they don't get overnight wins day after day, they instead get something more valuable: repeat clients who already trust them. And this goes beyond the local level too. Once you've done this and you've exhausted all of your local possibilities, well, then go back to that Google search method and expand the search by another 50 miles, then 100 miles, then go to the next state over, etc., etc. You see how this can be kind of an ever-growing thing where now you're not looking at being the local person, but you've now built the skills on how to find people, and you can keep expanding your search. One last thing here, and this part is huge. Finding the clients is step one, but keeping them is all about how you communicate with them. What you say in your emails, how you follow up with them, how you sound when something goes wrong, and how you handle that. All of that's what determines whether you're a one-time voice for them or if you've become their go-to voice. So what I want you to do next, I want you to watch my video on effective client communication. I'm going to link it right here because your voice might be the thing that gets you noticed, but your communication very well could be what gets you rehired.